Yeah, so the last time I featured a Jeep on this channel, you guys liked it, but apparently you didn't love it because I still have that Jeep, you haven't bought it. And I think I know where the problem is. Let's face it, you guys don't have that kind of money. 1.4 million, you don't have it. Yeah, I underestimated you guys, you have twice that money. So I went searching and I found this. This is another Jeep and it costs twice what the other Jeep cost. And hopefully it's twice the car. Let's find out. Let's start here at the engine bay. Now, Jeep enthusiasts are a very selfish lot. They like to say the Jeep Wrangler TJ was the last true Jeep, and part of the reason is because of this engine here. The TJ had an 4-liter inline 6. This one is a V6, 3.6-liter V6, and they like to whine about the loss of displacement. But this one actually makes more power. That said, I have to agree with the analysis of the Jeep enthusiasts because an inline 6 just is the perfect engine in terms of balance. The forces acting on the piston and the crankshaft all balance out in that inline 6 configuration. For this, you have to add counterweights and all that stuff to get the engine properly balanced. Yeah, so it saves a bit of space, so the bonnet isn't 6 kilometers long, but it's a compromise. An inline 4 would be a compromise. You want fewer cylinders so that it's easier to manufacture and cheaper. And V8, V12, V10, W16, that's just show off. Inline 6, that's perfect. So this thing makes about 235 horsepower, which is more than the 190 that the other one makes. Obviously, some of those horses have escaped since this thing came to Africa, but that's plenty enough for this thing. The engine is paired to a 6-speed automatic gearbox, something else Jeep enthusiasts like to ramble about, instead of the 6-speed manual on the previous one. But yeah, it makes plenty of power and it makes for an easier driving experience, the automatic. The 7-bar grille continues on this one. Jeep wouldn't dare change this design because it's what makes a Jeep a Jeep. The rounded headlights also continue on this thing, though these ones are LEDs, I believe, I'm not sure. Yeah, you can correct me in the comments below. The bonnet, I think, is a little bit shorter. I'll have to confirm that because of the V6 engine instead of the inline 6 on this thing. This one has a very strong bull bar. If you rear end someone with this thing, it's definitely a write-off. Yeah, plastic wheel arch covering on this thing. The previous one also had plastic cladding, but this one looks a bit bigger than that. So it's a 17-inch wheel on this one with massive off-roading tires on this thing. Yeah, so it's a plastic side mirror over here. It's very easy to remove this thing. Just undo a screw on the inside of the door. And something Jeep enthusiasts like to go on about is this one has 4 doors instead of the 2 that is in the Jeep Wrangler TJ. Yeah, so instead of carrying you and your mistress, you can actually carry yourself, your wife, and all of your children. Yeah, so a more practical Jeep, which enthusiasts don't like. Something else to note, this one is a hardtop, so this roof here can be removed, so you can drive without the roof. And it doesn't stop there. The doors are also removable, yeah, so you can drive this thing without its doors. You just have to lift it up like this and get rid of the door. Very, very interesting. It's an aerodynamic nightmare. As you can see, the windscreen is very, very vertical, so that means a car is more aerodynamically efficient than this thing, but you use this thing to go off-roading. The road is not really its cup of tea. Right, so let's look at the behind of the Jeep Wrangler. Starting at here, this is the fuel cap. It's on this side of the car. You won't need to remember that quite often because the V6 on this thing is not as thirsty as the 4-liter inline 6. Right, so as you can see, the tail lamps are really, really simple and rectangular. They can be undone using these 4 screws over here. Very, very easy to undo. So if you are a thief, that's an idea for you. There's a brake light on top of the spare wheel here, and this one has a Johnny Walker sticker on it. Yeah, so the number plate goes at the bottom there. There is more brake lights at the bottom here and plastic bumper behind here. So let's open this door here. As you can see, it's a classic Jeep small door behind here, and the first thing you notice when you look at this is, oh no, it's a small boot. Relax. When you do this, it's enormous. Yeah, so this is a very, very big boot with some equipment here for changing your wheels, because you'll need to do that when you are off-roading. There is Alpine speakers. This is a 7-speaker system on this thing. It's an Alpine speaker system. I hear it's very, very nice. Right, so enormous boot. You can abduct about 4 people in here, 6 if you stack them vertically. Yeah, like the behind of this thing. Let's look at the interior, starting at the driver's position. Yeah, so first of all, there's this side step over here that's rugged, so you don't fall off, and there's a fish net here, so when you come from Lake Victoria, you can always store your fish over here. Yeah, so the materials on this door is hard plastic, except here, which is soft fake leather, but it's not a big deal because you can always drive this car without the door. Right, let me step into the car and close that door. There's a reassuring bang when you close the door. Yeah, so the steering wheel is nice, just the right size. I like the size of this thing. There's Jeep badging on the steering wheel, which looks really nice. There's a phone receiver on this steering wheel and some gimmicks over here that you can use if you want. Yeah, so I like the look of this gauge cluster. It's analog. There's a speedometer over here and a rev counter, and then your engine temperature and your fuel gauge. They look really nice. I like the chrome accents on the round of the thing. There's more chrome accent on the Jeep badge over here. Yeah, so this seat feels really, really nice. I'm very comfortable sat here. The pedals are easy to reach and well spaced, so it's easy to operate them. You have this armrest over here, which makes for a very comfortable sitting position. Yeah, I can see the road ahead very okay. If I do this, I can see the wheel arch over there, so I can judge where my front tires are at. Yeah, so it's a 6-speed manual gearbox. It has a manual mode, so you can do the shifting yourself, though it shifts sideways, which is not ideal. I like the ones that shift both front and rear. And then, because it's a 4x4, that's your range selector. So you have a 2H, 4H neutral, and your 4 low. Nice. Your climate control is over here, and then a nice infotainment screen over there. Yeah, so you have space for 2 cups, 2 enormous American cups, which can fit here, and then the handbrake is manual. Yeah, so this position is really, really nice. I would be comfortable sat here on a long journey. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I like it. I like it. Right, so let's look at the passenger princess accommodation. So this car is very high, so if you're a lady, I'd suggest you don't wear a skirt when you come to this car. Yeah, so sat here, it's a very, very comfortable position. I have plenty of knee room. I'm exactly 6 feet tall and I have plenty of knee room. So I'm assuming your passenger princess will be shorter than me, so they will have even more knee room. So there is somewhere to hold on to while your driver does crazy off-roading stuff, and it's written on it Jeep since 1941 to remind you of the history of Jeep. Remember, Jeep started during the World War as the Willys Jeep. It was an army vehicle. Yeah, so you have your speaker over here, your Alpine speaker down over here, which should sound really, really nice. Yeah, so it's a very comfortable position. I would be comfortable sat here on a long journey. You get a nice view of the chrome accents and the nice interior finish of this thing. Oh, there's another fish net over here. So if the fish you've caught from Lake Victoria doesn't fit there, you can always put them down over here. Right, let's look at the back passenger. There is something inconvenient about getting into a Jeep. I would recommend, if you're a lady, again, don't carry your skirt. But once you get in, it's a pretty comfortable position back here. As you can see, this seat is adjusted to exactly my driving position, and I have plenty of knee room over there. So there is storage here for whatever your back passenger is carrying. The seats are a bit on the firm side, especially this backrest, but nothing too terrible. I would be comfortable sat here on a long journey, though not super comfortable because of the hardness of that seat. It gets 4 seats. That's 2 more than what you get in a TJ, so that's a plus. This is a more practical Jeep. Yeah, something else to note is this Alpine speakers over here. So there's an Alpine speaker there, another one up there, so you get to enjoy the Alpine speaker as you do your long journeys. So because it's a hard top, there's a roll cage on this thing, and this is the only thing standing between you and imminent death when you eventually roll over when you're doing your crazy off-roading stuff. Yeah, so the back here is really, really nice, though if you're carrying your chickens at the back here, you'll definitely hear them. Right, so the Jeep Wrangler, a very capable off-roader. If you had the budget to buy a Suzuki Jimny, you can add some change to that and get this one instead. So it goes for 4 million Kenya shillings. I realize that's not exactly twice the 1.4 million that the Jeep Wrangler TJ costs, but I'm not very good at maths. If I was, I would be an engineer instead of a car salesman. Right, so get yourself this one. Just find the number in the description and we'll talk about how you can own this exact one. Comes in this nice burgundy color, which I really, really like. Right, that's been it for today. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.